Morning children, this is my video tutorial on adjacent angles and vertically opposite angles. Okay, so these are two types of angle which are based on the position of the angle. Okay, so there are two things, that is adjacent angle and vertically opposite angles. Okay, so first let us see what is an adjacent angle. Okay, so as the name suggests, adjacent means next to each other. Okay, so the angle which exists next to each other, then that angle is named as adjacent angle. Okay, so adjacent angle will not be always two angles. There can be many angles which are adjacent to each other. Okay, so I'll give you one example. So if we have this angle, say I name this as A, B, okay, and another angle, say B, O, C. Okay, so here this angle that is angle AOB, and this angle BOC. Okay, these two angles are adjacent angle, meaning they lie next to each other. See, this angle is next to this angle. Okay, so the position of the angle are such that they are next to each other. Okay, so these two angles are adjacent angle. Okay, suppose I have one more angle here, say D, then again angle COD and angle BOC are adjacent angles. Okay, so if you look at some properties of adjacent angle, if you consider these two angles, okay, which are adjacent, you can see few properties. Okay, so some properties are, number one, they have a common arm. Okay, so between these two angles, adjacent angles, there is one common arm, that is OB. Okay, next thing is the remaining arms lie opposite to each other. Okay, remaining arms lie opposite to each other and they have a common vertex. Okay, so this vertex O is common to both the angles. Okay, so these are the few properties of adjacent angles. Okay, so in short, adjacent angles are nothing but the angles that lie next to each other. Okay, so now we have one more thing. Suppose I have two adjacent angles in such a way that the sum of the angles is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so suppose we all know that straight line forms a 180 degree angle, right? So suppose I have one degree here forming angle AOB, and I name this as C. Okay, so you can easily locate two adjacent angles here. So angle AOB and angle BOC are adjacent angles, right? And we also know that straight line forms 180 degree angle. So this total angle is equals to 180 degree. Okay, so here what do you see? These two angles, that is angle AOB and angle BOC, its sum is equals to 180 degree. Okay, so here we say that these two angles form a linear pair. Okay, so the adjacent angles existing in such a way that their sum equals to 180 degree, in that case we say that they form a linear pair. Okay, it need not be always in this direction. If you have the straight line and the way here, and these two angles form an adjacent angle, right? And then this straight line measures 180 degrees. So in this case also, these two angles are forming a linear pair. Okay, so this is one of the very interesting property of a adjacent angle. Okay, so this is all about adjacent angles. Now we have something called vertically opposite angle. So here we are discussing the types of angle based on the position, okay, where they exist. So first one was adjacent angle, another is vertically opposite. As the name suggests, the angles which lie opposite to each other and vertically opposite, then those angles are named as vertically opposite angles. Okay, so let us take example. So this is a common vertex, okay? And let us name all this way. So this is A, B, C, D. Okay. So here you see that there are 4 angles being formed at this vertex O, right? So these are the 4 angles that are there. Okay. So as the name suggests, it is vertically opposite angle. So the position of the angle should be in such a way that they are vertically opposite. So in this vertex, the 2 vertically opposite angle are this angle and this angle. Okay, so angle AOD and angle BOC are vertically opposite angles, and another pair of angles that are vertically opposite are angle AOB and angle DOC. These 2 angles. Okay, so these are 4 vertically opposite angles. Okay. And remember one property, very interesting property, that this vertically opposite angles are always equal in measure. Okay, so this is very interesting property. Vertically opposite angles are always equal in measure, meaning this angle's measurement is equal to this angle's measurement. This angle's measurement is equal to this angle's measurement. Okay. So children, this is all about adjacent angles and vertically opposite angles. I hope it is clear. Okay, so in next video, I'll be dealing with few sums based on adjacent angle and vertical